made our mango mash, and which means we are ready to distill the alcohol out of this mash and make some mango whiskey. So this is our 5-gallon pot still. It's a pot still that is made in Texas. You can actually go on the internet and buy this still. We've used the hell out of this thing. It works great. It's really simple, really easy. You put the mash in it, you heat it up to temperature, and you get whiskey. It really is that simple. So this is the still, this is the pot, this is the swan neck portion of it. So the alcohol vapors evaporate, they get trapped in this thing, they travel down this swan neck. As they travel down the swan neck, they begin to condense. Once they get into this part of the still, this is the worm. You look down there, there's a coil. You run cold water through this thing. It's a heat exchanger. It cools the alcohol vapor down so that it condenses. And then you catch the alcohol right there out of that little bitty spout. So that's how it works. Really simple, and it's a fun process. First time we use our still on the boat. So yeah, it's been a couple of years since we've used it, and we used to use it a lot whenever we lived in our house at Louisiana. How long has it been since we made this mango mash?
About 3 weeks ago.
I think it's been longer than that, huh? 3 weeks? Okay, 3 weeks. Alright, so here it is. This is the container we used to make the mash. We had an airlock, so we took this hose and we put it down inside of some water to keep bacteria out of this thing and to let the pressure that builds up during the fermentation process escape. So this thing has completely fermented, and I'm pretty certain there is very close to 0 sugar left in it. So we're going to test that theory with just a hydrometer, just a float with a scale on it and a weight at the bottom of it. You see the lead at the bottom? So it measures specific gravity of a fluid. And the more sugar you have in the liquid, the higher this will float. And then you can read the scale and it tells you how much potential alcohol you're going to make after you ferment. If we did our job right, this thing will tell us we have very little sugar left in this mash.
It smells like alcohol.
Ooh. Yeah, it does. So that's it right there. Smells like wine, and it should smell like wine. That means it should be like 15%. Let's see, so I'm just gonna put this in there, and there it is. Specific gravity of about 1.0, which means we made some wine. We made some mango wine. We're gonna filter it into our whiskey still, and then we're gonna run the still and make some alcohol. All right, there she goes, nice and slow. So we're gonna catch some of this so we can get a good look at it.
Smells really good.
It smells like a wine or beer, mango beer or mango wine. I mean, it's a drink that people make. Who make mango beers or mango wines? There we go. So you can see it's got quite a bit of solids in it. It should be very good. Definitely sour flavor. Yeah, I'm gonna just take a small taste of it. Yeah, it smells sour. It tastes like a white wine. Taste it and give me your opinion. Hold on. All right, so taste test of the mash. Go ahead.
Tastes like a wine.
It's got like the feel of a wine too, like the alcohol feel. We definitely made some alcohol here, and we should get a good yield out of this. Next step, after we fill the still up, we'll put it on the stove, start heating it up. But then during that process, I'll go ahead and I'll set up the worm. That way we can make sure and cool down the alcohol as we make it. All right, so here we are. The still is full to the top. I can't fit any more in there. I've actually got a little bit left in here. Whew, it smells strong. Down at the bottom. See, actually smells good. It smells like mango wine. This is what's left over of the mangoes. We filtered all of that out of the fluid, and then there's the gold right there. We're gonna take this guy and we're gonna put it over here on this little bitty tiny stove, and we're gonna start heating it up. Let's get to it. Whew. Man, that's a lot of weight on this little stove. Alright, so the trick with this, especially in a mash that has a lot of solids in it, heat the mash up slowly. So low and slow is what I like to say when I'm making whiskey. Because if you go too fast, you actually end up scorching the solids, or burning the solids, and you'll give there'll be an off flavor in the whiskey if you do that. We're gonna just slowly let her heat up over the course of the next couple of hours. Within that time, I'll be able to clean up all this mess I have over here and set up the worm to get this guy set up to where we can circulate some cold water and catch the whiskey as it comes out. So that's the way it's gonna sit right here. This is what we got going on here. We are rapidly approaching the point where the still begins to produce alcohol. So you can see here we are now at around 68 degrees Celsius. Should start producing between 69 and 72. And then that'll be the methyl alcohol, and then as it gets a little bit hotter, we'll start to collect the good stuff. There it is, there's our setup. So here's the still, there's the worm. We have a line that goes from the sink over to the worm to provide a constant stream of water, and then it's gonna drain out of the worm back into our water tank. That way we're not wasting any water, and we should be producing alcohol within the next 15 minutes. Alright, so there it is. There's the first few drops. But you gotta remember, this is not the good alcohol. This is the bad stuff. Probably about half of this jar, and then we'll discard it. Then we'll start catching some good stuff that we can drink. And our next step is we have to get some cooling water flowing through this thing, because this is gonna heat up really quickly. We'll end up not making liquid alcohol, just vapor alcohol, which would be very dangerous in a boat. Let's not blow the boat up today.
You didn't say anything about the possibility of blowing up.
Well, yeah, if you don't condense the alcohol, then it's alcohol vapor, and alcohol vapor is extremely explosive.
Right.
I'm not going to blow us up. I've done this before. Just give it a little bit of water here. Alright, that should do it. So that's what it is. It's always fun right when you start producing, because you have to get everything set properly. And this is the first time we produce alcohol in this setting with this stove and with this cooling system set up. Not so bad. I mean, we ran right after producing. We decreased the temperature just a little bit. She stopped producing, so that's good. So now I just gotta fine tune the stove temperature and we'll be good to go. Just sit here and let her make alcohol. Cool. Moonshining. All right, there she goes. Yeah, she's starting to push up to that right temperature. So there it is. First little bit of alcohol we're making. Starting to produce. It should just start pouring out eventually. So as you slowly heat this thing up, you get to the point where it just starts to produce, and then it'll just start pouring out. When it does that, I'm going to slow it down, because slow and low, I don't want to get a whole bunch of off flavors with this. I just want the really good alcohol. Alright, so now all we gotta do is maintain this. Time we're done, we should have a good amount of alcohol. I'm hoping to fill up that jug right there. If we can fill up that jug, or even close to fill it, that would be awesome. So, we'll see. I don't know how good that mash was. Never made alcohol with mangoes, and we only used 5 gallons of mangoes. I did put 4 pounds of sugar in there as well, so that should give it a little bit of a kick. We'll find out. We'll see how much we make. Alright, so you really can't see that, but that is an almost full bottle of mango brandy. There it is. Let's see what kind of whiskey we're making here. Alright, so here's a little bit of it in the bottom. Right there that we made. And let's do a potency test on it and see how strong it is. So I'm going to just take just a little bit of it. We're going to pour it on this plate that you can't see right here. Whoa, that might be too much. That's alright. We're going to take this match. Whew, that shit's strong, huh? And there she goes. Yeah, so there we go. We made some alcohol here. So you can see the red flames on the top of it. This was the heads. So you can see it's a little dirty. The stuff that we're actually catching isn't going to have any of that red flame on it. But yeah, there's a lot of alcohol in there too. Phew! That's some strong stuff right there. It smells like moonshine, that's for sure. Alright, there we go. Moonshining. Some mango brandy.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah, right. So it's a mango moonshine.
Yeah! Very creative. On a boat with friends. Mango moonshine. I'm a bit nervous. Oh!
Not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm breathing out fire, right? Like,
You could probably light your breath on fire.
but there's a lovely mango
And if you had like
aftertaste.
a clogged throat or something, that would clear it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cure for COVID.
Yeah,
Really?
really found the cure for COVID.
Damn. I don't want mine.
No, you have to drink. You got no choice. You
didn't
can't
take
cheers.
She didn't take
You
it.
can't cheers.
I heard a little bit of it.
No.
Tequila's worse. That's not bad.